Welcome, everyone. Welcome to special session day 2. My apologies for special session time. There's just a lot happening that we're trying to do in a limited amount of time. So with that, I apologize for our late start, but appreciate everyone for being here and in Las Vegas. Welcome, everyone. And of course, welcome to everyone online watching through Nellis or YouTube. With that, Ms. Dory, will you please take roll call?
Assembly members Cole, Considine, Dahlia, Gonzalez, Gurr, Hanson, Hardy, Karras, Marzola, Moore, Orentlicker, Patchett, Roth, Chair Miller.
Here, and please mark Assemblywoman Cole present when she arrives, or returns, I should say. With that, just to give you an idea of what's happening today, we will have 2 bill hearings, and then we will recess, and then we will come back for a work session at some point. With that, just a few reminders. Please make sure you turn your electronics down. We will have, wow, I just remembered something. Okay, so please make sure you turned your electronics down. And with that, of course, we ask that presenters keep their presentations to 15 minutes. Of course, at 15 minutes, I will cut you off at 20, but keep your presentations limited so that members have time to ask questions. And then we will have our opposition support and neutral testimony, both here and in Las Vegas. We ask that those testifying on a bill, please make sure that you keep your comments to 2 minutes each. And every speaker, including bill presenters, please make sure that you state your name and spell it so that we have it correct for the record. With that, I believe that is all that I will address at this moment. So I will open our first hearing, which is Assembly Bill 6. And so if our presenters would come forward, please. I will allow you all to introduce yourselves, and then whenever you are ready to present, please proceed. And then we'll just wait till the end to ask for members to ask questions.
Chair Miller, Vice Chair Marzola, members of the Assembly Committee on Public Safety and Security, thank you for hearing Assembly Bill 6 today. My name is Brad Keating with the Clark County School District. I'm joined here at the podium by Joanna Jacob, Government Affairs Manager for Clark County, and Kevin Schiller, the Clark County Manager. Joining us virtually from Las Vegas is Andrew Bennett, the Director of the Clark County Office of Traffic Safety, and Superintendent Joan Ebert of the Clark County School District. We're here to underscore the critical need for a shared, systematic solution to traffic safety in and around our school zones. As children in our community have tragically lost their lives and been seriously injured, the urgency of this moment cannot be overstated. To address the challenge head-on, Clark County took the lead and brought together the school districts and all local municipalities to create a coordinated approach called the School Traffic Safety Working Group. This group has begun its work to conduct a regional discussion on policy and enforcement, identifying some actionable infrastructure interventions, and developing some critical plans. It will take the effort of our entire community to achieve the goal of zero student traffic fatalities and injuries. It is vital that we create a shared community plan to dramatically improve traffic safety around all of our schools. Clark County and the Clark County School District both deeply appreciate the partnership of Governor Lombardo, legislative leadership, and other stakeholders for bringing forward for consideration during this special session important traffic safety provisions to enhance penalties and improve safety in our school zones. As mentioned, this important effort is a partnership among many, including our 2 organizations, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and all jurisdictional entities. We look forward to working through next steps with the legislature. For the purposes of today's presentation, I will ask Superintendent Ebert and Mr. Schiller to provide comments, and then Ms. Jacob will provide the committee with a walkthrough of this bill. Superintendent Ebert in Las Vegas.
Thank you, Chair Miller, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Joan Ebert, and I serve as the superintendent of the Clark County School District. As we know, our core business is teaching and learning, and normally the Clark County School District would defer to our municipal partners when it comes to traffic safety. We know that they're all working very hard, and we're very appreciative to the crossing guards that have been provided to all CCSD schools, elementary schools, and middle schools. However, we're seeing an alarming number of students being hit or nearly hit when going to and from school. Some of these incidents have occurred within our school zones, but many do not. Our law enforcement partners are working with CCSD Police Department to better track the number of juveniles hit between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. on school days. The increase that we're seeing this year alone, almost 200 incidents already reported involving students walking, riding, or using scooters to and from school. These incidents range from crashes that resulted in no student injury to crashes that have resulted in fatalities. And sadly, in the span of just 6 months, we have lost 3 students while they were on or around our schools. Each of these students had unlimited potential. Their friends and our community will never have the opportunity to witness their greatness. While CCSD is not responsible for our roads, we are speaking up today to appeal to you to take action to protect our students and are ready to do our part. This legislation takes steps toward protecting students in our school zones. You will hear from our municipal partners that this legislation will provide local governments with more authority to change the flashing lights within our school zones and to increase penalties for infractions in school zones. It also initiates the study to identify additional substantial steps we can take to protect our students. We all share a responsibility to protect our children, and together we can make sure every student arrives safely to school and returns home safely at the end of the day. To achieve that vision, we all need to be ready to do the work, and CCSD, our cities, counties, you as well, our law enforcement, our drivers on the road, and our families who navigate our school zones every day. We shouldn't wait for another tragedy, and we ask that you take action. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, Chair Miller, Vice Chair Mazzola, and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to present this urgently needed modernization of Nevada's school zone laws. Every school day, children across Nevada walk, bike, ride scooters, or step off buses into environments governed by statutes written decades ago, which no longer align with how schools operate, how families travel, and how our communities have been built. At Clark County, under our board's leadership, we created the first local office of traffic safety in Nevada to coordinate engineering, enforcement, education, and data across jurisdictions. We have backed that commitment with real investment, dedicating millions of dollars to expand and strengthen our school crossing guard program to protect children. The bill before you aligns with and strengthens these countywide efforts by further granting local governments the necessary authority to implement the safest possible school zone designs and operating hours. The bill also establishes stronger deterrents for dangerous behaviors, double penalties for speeding, DUI, and unsafe maneuvers, reinforce the seriousness of protecting children in active school zones. Importantly, I'd like to highlight this bill creates no new agencies, no new programs, and no unfunded mandates. It leverages existing equipment, including flashers, beacons, and signage, and modernizes their use. And it improves efficiency by reducing multi-party delays that currently prevent timely adjustments. These changes come directly from our folks in the field, those people doing the work who live in this reality every day, Public Works, the school district, law enforcement, and the families who experience it firsthand. I respectfully ask for your support and thank you for taking your time today.
Good afternoon, Chair Miller, Vice Chair Marzola, and members of the committee. Joanna Jacob, J-A-C-O-B, no S, for the record. And in mind, I want to keep this brief, Chair Miller, but informative for you in light of the time considerations. So I will walk us through kind of at a high level what we're proposing in the bill and our intent and how we put the bill together. For your help, I guess, in reviewing a 40-page bill, we did file a chart as an exhibit to this bill, which hopefully you have on Nellis, and it really crosswalks the existing traffic violations that we have referenced in this bill to the section section of the bill so that you can see what is being proposed. I want to talk about this in two real areas of policy in the bill. The first one is about where we're enhancing our local discretion for really the county and the municipalities to set school zone design and flasher operations. You will see this changes are largely in section 24 and 25 of the bill and how they operate together. Our intent is to let the local governments, in concert with our superintendent, really for us, Superintendent Ebert and her office and her staff, and with our law enforcement partners, to look at school zone design and operation. We've removed some language which was really limiting on when we could operate flashers, and it was really 30 minutes before the school starts and 30 minutes after. The intent of adding this flexibility is really to look at what's happening in Clark County on our streets. We have kids who might be in the area beyond those times. Schools are community centers, and we know that schools and families, kids and families congregate at schools outside of those hours. We also know that the school zones really in operation are when right in front of the school, that we believe that some additional flexibility, at least in Clark County, could really extend. And we've talked about extending it to the next crossing walk, or where kids and families would naturally cross the road to get to a parking lot or to get across the road to a bus stop, or those types of things may make sense for the particular school conditions, and that's why we are asking for that flexibility. The bill permits consultation with NDOT, and you may be familiar, or maybe not be familiar, but in Clark County, we do have roads that are state-owned, and that's why NDOT is at the table with us, and I know they're here today. They can talk about this, and that's really the intent of those sections operating together. The big, long pages of this bill really are stemming from the proposal in Section 2, where we are proposing to double fines. And it sounds I know it sounds like what it sounds like, but our intent in doing that was to mirror what the legislature has already done with respect to construction work zones, and also legislatively designed zones, which is pedestrian safety zones, where pedestrians are walking. And so we are mirroring that doubling of penalties and demerits you see in the bill. If there's questions about that, we mirrored the way the statute that is in place, and that is, if you want to double check me, it's at NRS 484B130, which is where we define the penalties for construction zones, active construction zones, and 484B135 is where we have the pedestrian safety zones. You'll see we've also really tried to define active school zone and active school crossing zones, because we want to talk about those would be the periods during which we would be able to, with the flexibility in section 24 and 25, be able to operate the flashers so that we could warn motorists that the school zones are that they're operational at that time, and that everybody should slow down to know that kids and families are present. There are enhanced penalties of which I said are really operating to mirror what we have, and we have not added any new penalties proposed in this bill. We tried to crosswalk it to what is in place for construction work zones. We did note that there are a few exceptions where there are things in construction work zones that or things that are present in school zones that may not be present in construction work zones. I hope that helps to, that that's our intent, and that was really what we tried to do with the bill. I am going to say, I know that there were requests. We did file an amendment, and I do know we've talked about this, Chair Miller, and the resolution that you're going to hear as your next agenda item. We are in support of this because we know that there's a lot. I do not want to say that this bill is going to be the only thing that we may need to do on school zones, and so the resolution is really proposing an interim study that we are in favor of and that we want to be able to
Okay,
talk.
let's stay specific to the bill
Yes.
hearing that we're in
We
right now,
have talked
please.
about if there's other things that we can talk about it in that interim study. And that is really our overview of the bill, and we can stand for questions. Director Bennett in the South is our subject matter expert, and he stands for questions as well, as long as the other members of our panel. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Keating, do you have anything to add? Okay. And so before we get into member questions, I'll just go ahead and address some of the amendments, because there were multiple amendments as well from Metro and from the city of Las Vegas, as well as I had a personal amendment, as well as another assembly member had a personal amendment as well, both of us educators. But I'm going to have legal respond to, if you could, Ms. just explain why those amendments, while they seem very germane, why they're not being included.
There are two, Kathleen Capron for the record, nonpartisan legal counsel. There are two conceptual amendments that seem to be very focused on e-bikes and e-scooters. That falls outside the realm of the governor's proclamation in terms of these bills. And so that would create a legal risk to include them in the bill.
Thank you so much. And with that, we will go ahead and start questions. Our first question will be from Assemblymember Roth.
Thank you so much, Chair, and thank you for the presentation. I think this is a really important piece of legislation. This question may actually be for legal. I'm just wondering if we could clarify if this would grant local authorities the ability to enact or implement automated traffic enforcement.
Kathleen Capron for the record. There's already existing provisions at the end of this bill. Locals have their discretion under their police powers to implement traffic laws and regulations, including signs and devices, which would include these types of flashers.
Could I ask a clarifying question? Yes. And I think this is specifically to traffic cameras.
Could you repeat the question, please, Kathleen Capron, for the record?
Of course. Would this allow the local municipalities to implement traffic cameras in these zones? Or speed cameras?
No, Kathleen Capron for the record, this would not address speed cameras, and those are prohibited currently under existing law.
Thank you. Our next question will be from Assemblymember Moore.
Thank you, Chair. And this is more of a clarifying question as well. I see school zones all the time as I'm driving my son to school and from school. It's very clear when I'm in a school zone for a CCSD school. However, when it comes to charter schools, not all charter schools have crossing guards or even flashing signs letting folks know that they're in a school zone. Would this bill also apply to charter schools?
Brad Keating for the record. Thank you for the question, Assemblymember Moore. This bill contemplates that the school zones, local governments would have more authority over school zones at all schools. It's public schools, period, so that would include charter and school district as well, public schools.
Thank you for that. Can we make sure that when the counties, local governments are looking into this, that it is clear that charter schools have to follow this as well?
Joanna Jacob for the record, JACOB, no S. Absolutely, Assemblymember Moore, and all the cities are here behind me as well and hearing this concern. And I think there's been, we'll make a note of that. I think that, and I'm sure that they will as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from Assemblymember Considine.
Thank you, Chair. Are all jurisdictions required to update their existing school zone signage, or only if they adopt additional restrictions during or after school hours?
Joanna Jacob, for the record. That is not the intent of the section that we have in the, it's really up to each local jurisdiction. We've kept the language broad to say that to enact the policy that would be in our jurisdiction. So it's a local government's decision. And signage may need to be updated where warranted, but it's not a requirement that we all of a sudden have to do all new signs, because it contemplates that the local government would define this in ordinance and in policy. And I will also note, just to address if there's any questions about, well, how would a pedestrian or a motorist know? We have committed in Clark County to do a really broader education campaign concerning some of the existing ordinances that we had. And should this bill pass, we would include the provisions of this bill to do a broad driver and motorist education and family citizen education about what is in place. So no, it is not a mandate on the local governments to automatically redo signs. It's at their discretion and could be done as a policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from Assemblymember Ordlicker.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for bringing the bill, and I'm glad to see all the steps this bill has. I was wondering about steps that could be in, but I don't see, and there's a lot of work done on traffic, on speed calming measures, dealing with, the way the streets, the speed humps and curb extensions and other things. Now did you feel that was beyond your authority, that's something for the Department of Transportation, or is that why it's not in here, or are you already doing that? Where's that fit in this?
Assemblyman Orentlicker, Joanna Jacob, for the record. I'll try to address your question, and then I may defer to Director Bennett afterwards, but I'll start here. When we were looking at this, we really tried to mirror some of as I said, our intent was to mirror what the legislature has already decided on some of these penalties. That is to say, there may be some additional ones that we need to include. We did try to look at the proximate cause of what is actually happening in our streets right now, and really try to center it to some of the accidents and the things that caused the accidents that we've seen. I will have Andrew weigh in if he's got any other thought to that. But again, I know we really think if we need to look at it in a farther way at additional penalties, that may be something that we could tackle. I'm very committed to tackling it in the regular session. So Director Bennett, do you have any additional comments?
Thank you, Joanna. Andrew Bennett, for the record, ANDR-EWBENNETT, and I appreciate the question, Assembly Member. To your point about calming and some of the environmental designs that we can put in place around schools, that was exactly why we convened the School Traffic Safety Working Group, to ensure that we had a regional approach. We're having those conversations. We were following the data, and we have the authorization to do that, and we are doing that today. We wanted to bring things only that would require legislation approval for us to move forward with this language.
Thank you. Our next question is from Assemblymember Gurr.
Thank you, Chair. It's just a clarifying question. Thank you for the presentation. But on the bill text, it says contains an unfunded mandate. And I've been trying to find where the mandate was, but I haven't been able to find it. And then I heard a comment that says there are no unfunded mandates. Just could you clarify that for me, please?
Joanna Jacob, for the record. I agree with you, Assemblyman Gurr. Our intent was to really use our existing powers, ask for the permission where we needed it from the legislature. I would have to defer to the LCB. They make that determination. Usually that may include where I know from experience, and LCB can correct me, and please do, sometimes that is noted on a bill where it requires a jurisdiction to do something or to do a policy which we have proposed in the bill. But we have worked with the cities on this to say this is really something that we all support and feel that we need to do in response to the community. So that's my response to that, in that we all are committed to doing it, and I'll defer to legal on their determination, because that's not something that we drafted. Thank you.
I'm going to have legal jump in.
Kathleen Capron for the record from the legal division. Yes, that's generally correct. The provisions in this bill where the unfunded mandate is marked is not discretionary. It's required to adopt some sort of policy, which would inherently could cost money to the locals.
Assemblymember Gurr, do you have a follow-up or?
Thank you, Chair. Just when you say talk to the cities, which cities did you talk to? If you don't mind.
Joanna Jacob for the record. Assemblyman, I don't mind at all. I will acknowledge that we learned that this would be a standalone bill just a couple days ago, so I did not do what I normally like to do when I'm doing legislative affairs, as you know, in a regular session, and get a wide swath. But we have sent the bill language out, and we've been to the League of Cities, to our colleagues in Northern Nevada. I sent it to NACO and to our colleagues throughout the state for the rest of the counties, and down south, the cities of Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas. I have sent it to the city of Boulder City, and so we've tried to do our best to get around to everybody. And I know that NACO is present here, so if you have further questions on that, I'm sure that they can address it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. Assemblymember Gonzalez, do you still have a question?
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the presentation. As a new mom, one of the things I was scared of most was driving home from the hospital because of how crazy our driving is here. So I appreciate the work being done to try to address this issue. But I was also wondering, I do get nervous with increasing fines and doubling penalties. And so I'm just wondering, what other measures or ideas did you guys come up with addressing this issue as well?
Joanna Jacob for the record, JACOB. I'll start, and then I will have Director Bennett take over. And if the superintendent has comments too, I don't want to not say that the CCSD may have comments as well. I'll start by saying Andrew can speak to the work when we talk about the meetings that we've been having with the rest of the jurisdictions. We are looking at this from a broad angle lens because we really some of this, and in conversations also within the county and with our board, some of this has to go to the way that we design schools in our community, the way that we design the roads, and that's why there's an engineering subcommittee of this the working group that we've convened. We also have looked at, I think I commented on it, but I will, our county manager mentioned that Clark County has funded school crossing guards. So we looked at funding so we could increase the number of school crossing guards for really all across unincorporated Clark County, and at both our elementary and middle schools. It's quite a number of schools that we've invested in, and we did do just this past summer, effective on October, or enforceable as of October 1st, an ordinance on e-bikes and e-scooters that we have done, along with some of my city colleagues, and they may be able to talk about their ordinances. We have been working with the cities on that. So we're doing I guess we've taken some actions where we can, aside from coming here to look for this legislative authority. And Director Bennett can talk about what he sees ahead for the working group, and Superintendent Eber, if there's anything you would like to add as well.
Andrew Bennett for the record, largely to echo my colleague, Joanna, and the county manager. We're approaching school traffic safety in the most comprehensive manner that we can. First, we're following the data. We went from not knowing how many kids were hit up to like 4 years ago to having an increased level of data around that subject, which that's the first step, is to have the quality data. And so we know, unfortunately, that we've had 189 students hit. We know where they are, what the circumstances of those crashes are. And so through that, with the partnership from CCSD, we did create one of the most comprehensive working groups that I've seen put together yet. It's every municipality in Southern Nevada, along with the school zone or the school district, as well as the school charter school authority, and to address everything from the moment the kid leaves school and the staff of these schools as well, all the way getting to school. What can we do? We intend to have a report out by, I think, end of March, early April. And again, approaching it through engineering, education, enforcement, and additional policies.
Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you so much. It's good to hear everyone's working on an issue that is so important together. Thank you.
Thank you. And at this point, I believe this concludes our questions. I just have one brief question, maybe suggestion. So it was mentioned earlier about in the bill that starting these alerts and times based on like a half hour before school time. And so can we, because again, school time, as it was already expressed, people are always at the schools, students are always at the schools, regardless of what school time is. But if we look at actual school time, can we have that, and I don't even know if this needs to be an amendment or just in regulation or just in practice, especially because we do have Superintendent Ebert here, but school times, there's school times where the students are there for instruction, and then there's contract time, which is when staff is required to report. And yet, there are still students who are already at school even before contract time, before staff is there, before the office is even open. So could we have it more aligned with contract time? Because we know so many students either leave the home when their parents are leaving or dropped off early. I'm just going to say it, there's tons of kids there before I get there every day. So if we could just be, make it so that we're capturing more of those times of, we know the bulk of our students are walking or riding closer to school start times, but there's enough students that are there well before school starts.
Thank you, Chair Miller. You are absolutely spot on, and that's why we convened the entire group with all of the municipalities, the Clark County School District, so that we have that two-way communication of when our school buildings are being used, whether it's community use, whether it's school, as you said, staff coming in early, that we have that communication. And then our municipalities have the ability to quickly make those changes and not have to wait for the state to intervene. So thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent.
Yeah.
So then we're saying the bill does not restrict, that the flexibility is among the municipalities and the districts to determine when they want to start that.
Chair Miller, Joanna Jacob for the record. Of course, I'm happy if we need to do anything, but I'll point you to section 24. It's page 23 of the bill. We've taken out the language on the half hours, where the school is in operation. It was also limited to, and we have replaced that with any period as specified by the local government or NDOT with when it's one of their jurisdictions. So it's really giving us broad flexibility. And as the superintendent noted with the working group, it gives us, because we're going to be setting the policies in concert with the superintendent's office and with Metro, we can work together on trying to figure out what is the appropriate designation for the operation of those things. So I think we have what we need, the flexibility there, and happy to make a note of that too, and we can take that back to the group down south.
And just to have it on record too, that would enable the flexibility for those occasions of, the Disney trip where everyone's showing up at 3 a.m. to hit the bus, or students walking home after the dance or, the basketball game or something like that.
Joanna Jacob for the record. I don't know, Superintendent Eber, if you also want to say
There's a
yes,
lot
but
going on.
I will say yes, that was our intent. When I said that the schools are the community gathering, that there are times where we have a lot of kids and staff and families, there that are, it might be at whatever, the Disney trip is an excellent example. And I would say that is our intent, that we could define that as part of our local government policy or something that it covers that type of event, or we can make the adjustment as the superintendent noted. I'll see if I don't know if we have any other thing, but that is yes, I will clearly state it. That is the intent with asking for the flexibility.
Okay.
Yes, that is the intent. And then also, too, I would add this, we had a superintendent's meeting, all 17, as well as the State Public Charter School Authority just last week. And the Lander County superintendent was very supportive because he had been trying to get some lights switched within his county. And it was taking an extremely long time as well. So this is a statewide issue that you will be addressing.
Thank you so much for that. With that, that concludes our questions, so I will open it up for testimony. Again, anyone will begin with support testimony. Anyone testifying in support, we ask that you state your name and you spell it, and that you keep your remarks to 2 minutes each. We will start here in Carson City, and then we'll move down to Las Vegas.
Good afternoon. My name is Amy Davey, D-A-V-E-Y. I'm the director of the State Highway Safety Office, the Nevada Office of Traffic Safety in the Department of Public Safety, here in support of AB 6. Just a few brief comments that I wanted to offer the committee as well. I brought with me today a school zone speed study that was commissioned through my office, working with the University of Nevada, Reno Center for Advanced Transportation Education and Research. This was done in 2023. And it was 15 sites across the state of Nevada, specifically Clark County and Washoe County. The UNR study looked at speeds in school zones. I'll read you just one sentence, and then I would like to make this available to any members I'll submit it to you, Chair. The one sentence that I will read you from the executive summary, this comes from the school zone speed study. Study data sets were gathered from 15 school zones in both southern and northern Nevada, covering a range of school types, roadway network layouts, and traffic conditions. The analysis revealed that compliance with the posted speed limits during school zone speed control hours was alarmingly low, with only about 34% of drivers adhering to the speed limits based on LiDAR data, and a compliance rate of 24% observed through vehicle telemetric data. This study will also show you the exact schools that were studied, the times of day they were studied, and the average speeds, which went up to 70 miles an hour during the time that a school zone was active and flashers were flashing. I'll submit this to the committee, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that.
Alexander Marks of the Nevada State Education Association. We'll keep it very brief. We think this kind of fits right within our Respect Educators program and our ideas on that, so we'll just be in support. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Miller and the Assembly Public Safety and Security Committee. My name is Christopher Reese, R-I-E-S, and I represent the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Sheriff McMahill has been clear that one of his goals has been to reduce traffic fatalities and to make our roads safer. We support AB 6 and any efforts to meet those goals, especially when it comes to vulnerable road users and especially our school children. These enhancements are already being levied in work zones. It only makes sense to have them also levied to increase accountability in school zones. This bill will protect children, of whom nearly 200 Clark County kids have been struck since the last time we were all in this building together. For these reasons, LVMPD supports AB 6. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Did you just say 220 students have been hit since we left in the beginning of June?
Since this school year, 182, I believe, have been struck.
Throughout the state?
Through Clark County, sorry. Clark County School, in the Clark County School District Zone, almost 200.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. Sean Sever from the Nevada DMV. I am testifying this morning as a member of the NVAC's Traffic Safety Committee, and this is new territory for me because I'm usually in neutral explaining a fiscal note up here. So we are strongly in favor of AB 6. Something must be done to protect our children in school zones. More than 189 kids have been hit in Clark County school zones so far this school year. I dropped my son off here one day here in Carson City, and the crossing guard told me that people speed through, they drop off their kids at school, and then they speed out of the school zone at 50 to 60 miles an hour. He said he's had many near misses in a crosswalk, and this is outrageous behavior. These are our children, and we need to do something drastic to protect them. AB 6 can go a long way to get people's attention and hopefully change this aggressive driving behavior in school zones. If we can save one kid, it's worth it. Thanks.
Hello, for the record, my name is Vincent Guthrow. Last name is spelled G-U-T-H-R-E-A-U. First name is Vincent, V-I-N-S-O-N. I serve as the Executive Director of NACO, or the Nevada Association of Counties. We're the statewide organization that represents all 17 of Nevada's counties. Our members have been focused on traffic safety and joining the state, trying to get to zero fatality goal. We also serve on the Nevada Executive Committee of Traffic Safety. In fact, Andrew Bennett from Clark County's Office of Traffic Safety is our representative on that committee. We echo the comments that the schools are the center of the community in a lot of our communities, especially in our smaller jurisdictions, and we appreciate the modernization of this and the flexibility that this bill provides, and for that reason we support this measure, and we thank Clark County for bringing it forward. I do want to address, since, if it's okay, Chair, since the fiscal unfunded mandate was brought forward, is that okay, or do you want me to move forward?
That would not be in support testimony.
Okay, great. I can,
Okay,
if
so
you
you're
have another
supporting
question.
the bill 100%, correct?
Correct. Yeah,
So-
I didn't know if you wanted me to address Assemblymember Gurr's question now, but
No,
that's okay.
no,
I'll
not if
step
we
back.
want to follow the rules. So
Okay,
you're more
sounds
than
great.
welcome to talk offline with him or to any members or
Okay.
email us or
No problem.
however
Well,
you want to do it.
we support this measure and look forward to its passage. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Chair and Committee. My name is Nicole Flangas, F-L-A-N-G-A-S, here on behalf of the Nevada Association of School Boards, representing all the school districts across the state. We are in strong support of creating a flexible regulatory structure that protects our kids. This is a wonderful measure to step us forward. Thank you very much.
Good day, Chair. Sorry. Name is Joseph Colacurcio, C-O-L-A-C-U-R-C-I-O. I represent the Washoe County Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Darren Balaam. We also here up in the north, traffic safety is one of our #1 things that we worry about. Having that being said, I'm also a father of 2 kids who dropped my kids off for school this morning. I also use the crosswalk and was one of those that had a near miss not too long ago while walking my kids across the street in the crosswalk. And as a former traffic deputy, having brighter signs earlier on and having that ability to see that stuff is something that I believe would help traffic and prevent injuries to our children on the roadway. So, along with myself and the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, we support AB 6.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Randy Robinson, Director of Government Affairs for the City of Las Vegas. Actually speaking on behalf of the Urban Consortium today, as a member of the consortium, which includes the cities of Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, Reno, and Sparks. We submitted a letter in support of this measure. You've heard plenty of testimony from the county, from the school district, from Mr. Bennett's group. We appreciate them including us in this effort because it's an issue for all of us, and it'll take all of us to address it. Just wanted to indicate our support. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Michael Hillerby on behalf of the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County. Also here to offer our support. This is a very high priority that's been identified by our board members who are elected council and commission members from Reno, Sparks, and Washoe County. We try to do and have done in many cases everything we can through engineering, signage, education, and you've heard the extent of the problem. I won't belabor that. But again, we support the bill very much and look forward to your support as well so we continue to do things to make those as safe as we can. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Miller, members of the committee, and my name is Elisa Caffaretta.
CAFFERATA. I'm the Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Alliance, and we are in support of this bill, and we really appreciate the collaborative approach to the problem solving. We think that sometimes this is the best way to address the issues and the safety concerns our children and families face, so we're glad to see this effort and urge your support of this bill.
For the record, Ryan Beeman, representing Clark County firefighters. I work the streets and see some of these horrible incidents that have taken place, and any way we can protect our children where we're not going on these type of incidents, we support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else that would like to testify in support here in Carson City? Not seeing anyone else, we will move down to Las Vegas. Please begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair Miller, members of the committee. My name is John Jones, here on behalf of the Nevada District Attorneys Association in support of AB 6. We want to thank the governor in Clark County for bringing this bill and just wanted to voice our support for it. Thank you, Chair.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. David Clyde here on behalf of the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada. The RTC has long prioritized roadway safety and has actively collaborated with Andrew Bennett and the Clark County Office of Traffic Safety to explore evidence-based strategies that reduce traffic fatalities and injuries. We believe AB 6 advances these ongoing collaborative efforts, and we are strongly in support of this legislation and would like to thank all those, including the governor and the county, who brought this legislation forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else there in Las Vegas that would like to testify in support? Not seeing anyone, then I will begin here in Carson City and open it up for testimony in opposition. Is there anyone that would like to oppose Assembly Bill 6? Not seeing anyone here in Las Vegas. Is there anyone there? I'm sorry, I'm in Carson City right now. Is there anyone not seeing anyone in Carson City, is there anyone there in Las Vegas? Also not seeing anyone. Then I will open it up for neutral testimony. Is there anyone here in Carson City that would like to testify in neutral? Not seeing anyone, then is there anyone in Las Vegas? Not seeing any movement there as well, then I will go ahead and close testimony and welcome the bill presenters up for any final remarks. Okay, and they are saying no final remarks. So with that, thank you so much. I will go ahead and close the hearing on Assembly Bill 6. Next, we have ACR 4. ACR 4. And with this, I just want to make a clarifying comment because the bill presentation included references to this ACR. So what I would say is, again, you all heard the reasons why the amendments will not be adopted into Assembly Bill 6. However, some of those that language and intent are able to be included in this resolution. And so there will be, the amendment will be addressed as well. That there's an amendment that I will address that is, we're on special session time, it's all. So I will address the amendment that is presented by the City of Henderson and fines and fees in a few minutes after I open the hearing and our Assembly Member Considine presents the resolution. All right, Assembly Member, whenever you're ready, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair Miller, members of the Public Safety and Security Committee. I am Venetia Considine, and I have the honor of representing Assembly District 18, and I am here today to present Assembly Concurrent Resolution 4. As members of the Nevada Legislature, we are a voice for our constituents, and we endeavor to represent the interests of people in our state. Over the past few months, I've heard several concerns from constituents about e-bikes and e-scooters. I just want to tell you one quick story. I had a gentleman come and visit me last month, and he wanted to talk to me about e-scooters and e-bikes. I live near East Tropicana, and that is a 45-mile-an-hour road, which, as we probably have all heard, is not often only 45 miles an hour. But this gentleman was turning right out of a neighborhood onto East Tropicana, He looked both ways and then just happened to look back in the way that he wanted to go. And he said, just flying, and it was a little bit downhill, just sort of flying on the sidewalk, bounced off the sidewalk right in front of his car, and on like no hesitation whatsoever was what he said was like a preteen on an e-scooter. And he said it terrified him because if he had not been fully stopped, if he had inched up at all, that e-scooter coming against traffic at the speed that it was coming would have either hit his car and that child would have flown over his car, or would have tried to turn, out in front of the car and possibly onto head-on traffic going at least 45 miles an hour. And he was very disturbed by all of it, and he came to me specifically and asked that we, as a legislature, do something about it because we are all seeing it. We're all seeing that some of these scooters and e-bikes are going like 25 miles an hour, that, the folks that are riding these e-bikes or scooters, the age range is very large in that if we're talking about, tweens, even below tweens, teens, young adults. Oftentimes they may not even be aware of how fast they're going. And these e-bikes and scooters have been linked to a growing number of injuries. They're causing traumas and death. I saw some data earlier that there have been over 20,000 injuries from e-bikes and e-scooters across the country. 3,000 of those have required hospitalizations. We have seen in Clark County that kids are riding these, on very busy streets. We know that there's been a lot of injuries. There have been children who have died riding e-scooters without helmets, without understanding the speed and the responsibility for them. E-bikes and e-scooters can reach speeds up to 30 miles an hour, and I'm not even talking about sort of the kits that they've outlawed in California that actually make them go faster. They can be very difficult to control, especially for inexperienced riders. They may not be seen by drivers who are not accustomed to sharing the road with them. I also found out today that it is unlawful to have an e-scooter or an e-bike on the sidewalks on the Las Vegas Strip, but not anywhere else. Small obstacles like potholes or uneven surfaces can cause crashes because these often have small wheels. And there's a lot of folks with a lack of experience. They may have trouble with the speed control, braking or balancing, which are leading to a lot of accidents, especially children. They are particularly at risk because they still have a developing nervous system. And I was hoping to tackle this issue during this special session, and the result of that hopefulness is Assembly Concurrent Resolution number 4. So with your indulgence, I'll just read this fairly quickly. So Assembly Concurrent Resolution, resolved by the Assembly of the State of Nevada, the Senate concurring that the Joint Interim Standing Committee on the Judiciary is hereby directed to conduct a study during the 2025-2026 legislative interim session relating to road safety. Be it further resolved that the study must include, without limitation, a review of the laws of this state concerning the operation of electric bicycles and electric scooters, and whether additional regulation of electric bicycles and electric scooters is necessary to promote public safety. An examination of data and other information concerning traffic violations committed in school zones, and an analysis of whether increasing the penalties associated with traffic violations committed in school zones would promote public safety, and an evaluation of the power of local governments to regulate electronic bicycles and scooters in their respective jurisdictions and to regulate traffic violations committed in school zones, and whether additional powers related to these topics should be afforded to local governments, including, without limitation, school districts. And be it further resolved that any recommended legislation proposed by the committee must be approved by a majority of the members of the Senate and a majority of the members of the Assembly appointed to the committee. And be it further resolved that the committee, pursuant to subsection 4 of NRS 218E 330, shall prepare and submit a report of the study and any recommendations for legislation to the Director of the Legislative Council Bureau for transmittal to the 84th session of the Nevada Legislature. And resolved, this resolution becomes effective upon adoption. And there is an amendment that is up on the desk that the chair, I'm sure, will read, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It is also, I understand, up on Nellis at this point. And it's just clarifying, adding some words to make sure electronic motorcycles and examination of best practices for improving safety in school zones is included in, and again, just making sure the inclusion of electric motorcycles. So that was really it. It's just more specifying and clarifying language. And again, that's brought forward from the City of Henderson and from Fines and Fees, which is a unique combination I have not expected, but was very pleased to see working together. So that is accepted as a friendly amendment, just so that the committee knows. But again, it was just to tighten and clarify it up. So with that, members, do we have any questions? Our first question is from Assemblymember Karas.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Assemblymember Considine, for that great presentation on a very needed topic. My question, I'm going to sidetrack a little bit before we get to my question, just because I want to tell people that it's not just children being hurt on these scooters. I actually have a good friend right before I retired from the trades. It's very popular when we park very far away to ride these electric scooters in to the job site. They now have many rules where you can't be on site on the bike. You have to walk it in, which is good. But what happened to my friend, it was an extreme injury, and it was not on the job site. He left work, and it was not his fault. It was the driver, and head-on collisioned him, driving the wrong way. He flew up over, had a severe brain injury where his brain swelled, and they actually had to airlift him to the hospital. It was very, very bad. He was in very bad shape for about 2 months. He did pull through, so thank God, and he is back to work. But I think, and I don't know, I could be out of line with this because I know it has to be in line with the governor's proclamation. But is there any way, or has anyone given thought to including work zones in the study?
Venetia Constein for the record. Thank you for the question, Assemblymember Karas. I believe it could be just everything, I believe, that was in the parameters of e-scooters and e-bikes can be discussed in the interim, and that is definitely something that I can jot down for the interim study.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very needed part of the study. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Not seeing any additional questions at this time. Or wait. I will go ahead and open it up for testimony. So we'll begin here in Carson City. Anyone that would like to testify? And I see City of Henderson and Fines and Fees rushing to partner up at the table. Look at this, coming together in unison. So anyone that would like to testify in support, again, please state your name, spell it for the record, and you have 2 minutes each.
Thank you, Chair and committee members. My name is Nick Shepak, S-H-E-P-A-C-K. I'm the Nevada State Director of the Fines and Fees Justice Center, here in support of the resolution as amended. I want to thank the City of Henderson for working with us on this. Really, what we were aiming to do is ensure that we capture a lot of what we talked about in the previous bill presentation, which is that engineering, education, and innovative solutions to school zone safety. We hope that the interim study will lean heavily on Director Bennett and the good work that his working group has done. And as we heard from Amy Davey and the Division of Traffic Safety, compliance rates are low, so we believe that it is imperative that we have alternatives to just fines in our solutions to really slow people down and keep our kids safe. The last thing I'll say is I really hope that we include Northern Nevada and rural Nevada when we're doing this study during the interim, because they have unique challenges and all those kids deserve to be safe. We support this resolution and look forward to the study during the interim. Thank you so much.
Chair, members of the committee, Nicole Rourke, representing the city of Henderson. First, I want to thank the Assembly and Assemblymember Considine for presenting this resolution and the chair for accepting our amendment. We believe it's very important to include electric motorcycles in this so that we can study those as well. We're seeing really increased injuries, increased speeds with those vehicles, and so it's very important to make sure that those are included as well. And I think that meets the original intent of the resolution, and we're really just interested in participating in this and ensuring safety in school zones as well. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. Amy Davey, Director of the Nevada Office of Traffic Safety. I'm excited to support ACR 4 and hope to offer ourselves as a resource. Every state in the country is required by federal law to have a state highway safety office. In Nevada, that is my office through the Department of Public Safety. We're a federal grant pass-through office from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, receive about $10 million a year from NHTSA in order to support state and local programs. So I do want to offer our support to the committee in terms of data, subject matter expertise, as well as the potential for the committee to engage us with discussions about studies like the one I brought to you earlier today. So thank you for the time.
Good afternoon again, Chair Miller, Vice Chair Marzola, and members of the committee, Joanna Jacob, JACOB, no S for the record, on behalf of Clark County. Just wanted to put our support on the record. We've been talking about this topic for quite a bit, as you heard, and we will support this effort through the Office of Traffic Safety and other county departments that are involved in these conversations on traffic safety, and that's our commitment to you. And I think it's a great forum for some of the other things that we have discussed. If there are additional measures that need to be done with everybody at the table, including Northern Nevada, the rural part of Nevada, all the stakeholders that are involved. We are also in support of the amendment, Chair Miller, on e-motorcycles. We talked to Henderson about that earlier today, and so we support the bill as amended. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and committee members. This is Sam Anastasados. That's spelled ANASTASSATOS, and I'm here on behalf of the RTC of Washoe County. And again, the board's road safety is another priority of the board, so we welcome anything that would help our communities out. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. Nick Ciccone, that's N-I-C-C-I-C-C-O-N-E, representing the city of Reno. I just wanted to throw our support behind this measure as well. Particularly in November, later this month, we will actually have our police chief being presenting an update to our city council, discussing the issue of e-bikes and e-scooters in our communities. And I'm happy to tell her that the legislature actually got in front of her on this issue. So thank you very much.
For the record,
You know what,
Ryan,
I'd be happier to tell her, but I'll let you do it.
For the record, Ryan Beeman, representing Clark County firefighters. Actually, this topic we also represent on the Regional Advisory Trauma Board down in Southern Nevada. We have members that are on there. It's made up of trauma doctors, hospitals, first responders, and insurers. And actually, this topic just came up of how many more incidents the trauma doctors are seeing with the scooters and these type of vehicles. So it is something that is definitely on our radar. As a first responder, we see it quite a bit of these type of injuries, and this is a good way to address it, and we appreciate it. One other thing that we're seeing across the nation with these e-scooters is also lithium battery fires with those bikes.
Good afternoon, Chair Miller and members of the committee. My name is Chris Reese, it's R-I-E-S, and I represent the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I just want to echo the comments before, especially my friend Nick Shepak from the Fines and Fees, and we support this, the ACR 4. Thank you.
I'd love to see everyone being so friendly this special.
Hello, Chair Committee members. Sean Sever from the Nevada DMV. Once again, testifying as a member of the NVX Traffic Safety Committee. We are in favor of ACR 9. As you know, e-bikes and scooters and motorcycles are everywhere, and some kind of safety structure needs to be put in place around them. We had our traffic safety summit recently in Las Vegas, and ironically, on my way to the conference, I drove through a school zone where a young girl was on a scooter without a helmet and no lights was weaving in and out of traffic, going up on the sidewalk, back into traffic. And then unfortunately, right after our summit ended, we learned that a young man lost his life on a scooter near a school. These are heartbreaking stories of a life taken too soon. Some of these young folks have no driver training, and they're out there in full on traffic making life-changing decisions. So ACR 4 can't happen fast enough, and we need to protect the people riding e-bikes and scooters and motorcycles and save lives. Thanks.
Good afternoon, Chair Miller, members of the committee, Jason Walker, Jasonwalker, representing the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, happily supporting ACR 4.
Brad Keating, representing the Clark County School District for the reasons that you heard earlier this afternoon. We stand in support of this bill, and we offer our support and our partnership as this study moves forward to do anything to support our kiddos in Las Vegas and all of Southern Nevada. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and Committee. For the record, Randy Robison, Director of Government Affairs for the City of Las Vegas. The city is definitely in support of this resolution. Thank the sponsor and this committee for bringing it before the legislature. We're particularly supportive of the amendment that adds a new Section 3, which encourages the study of best practices to improve safety in school zones. There are many other things that can be done, should be done, and have been done historically. One of the more tried and trusted methods of improving school safety are school crossing guards. And I know we struggle with finding enough and funding enough, but it's one of the more simple and effective ways that we can go. So we appreciate that the amendment would allow for a broader discussion. Thank you.
Hello, Matthew Caldwell for the record. I'm the president of Police Officers Association for the Clark County School District Police Department. And I would just like to take this time to ask that during this traffic study that we look at adding additional funding for school.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
we are in support. So do you support the measure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in order to be in support, there can be no ifs, ands, or buts, meaning no request, no I like it, but.
I apologize.
That's okay. I know we haven't seen you testify before. So are you in support if you'd like to state your support for the measure?
Yes, ma'am. We absolutely support it.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, any of those requests or considerations can be taken offline.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anyone else here in support of ACR 4 here in Carson City? Not seeing anyone. Is there anyone in Las Vegas that would like to testify in support? Not seeing anyone in Las Vegas, then I will open it up for opposition testimony. Is there anyone in opposition here in Carson City? Not seeing anyone. Is there anyone there in Las Vegas in opposition? Also not seeing anyone. I will open it up for neutral testimony here in Carson City. Not seeing anyone. I will open it up for neutral in Las Vegas. Also not seeing anyone. I will go ahead and close testimony and welcome the assembly. Assembly member has no final remarks, so I will go ahead and close the hearing on ACR 4. And so just so as I had stated before, because I see people coming back in. So earlier at the beginning of this hearing, I stated that we would have our 2 bill hearings and then we would recess and then work session. But of course, it's special time, so we're going to change that. We are going to go ahead and work session the 2 bills we just heard today. We're going to work session the 1 bill we heard today. So we are going to work session ACR 4. So with that, Speaker has waived the rules for all of the committees. You know, there's generally a 24-hour rule between the time in the assembly that we can hear a bill and work session it, but that has been waived. And so we're going to go ahead and work session ACR 4. So can I have members any questions before we do this? Not seeing any questions, I will entertain a motion. So moved. I have a motion from Vice Chair Marzola. Do I have a second? I have a second from Assembly Member Karras. Any additional comments? Okay, all those in favor of ACR 4? Aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, and the motion passes unanimously. And with that motion, do I need to do it again? No, okay. With the motion, I'm clarifying that includes the amendment. It is being accepted and adopted. So that motion, that does include the amendment. Thank you so much. And so with that, as I stated before, we will be in recess. The intent is to come back today at some point. And so at that point, that concludes our work session, and it also concludes our bill hearings. But because, before y'all get so antsy, I know how members are when we have to come back for multiple committees and such. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up for public comment now, especially while there's a majority of people here. So public comment is to make a comment, anything relating to what's ever under the purview of this committee, not to make comments on the bills that were just heard. But I'd like to open it up because we do have people here right now. So is there anyone here in Carson City that would like to come forward and make public comment? Not seeing anyone. Is there anyone in Las Vegas that would like to make public comment? Also not seeing anyone. So again, thank you so much, everyone. We will advertise the time of when we're coming back into committee as soon as we know, as the best we can. So, all right, thank you so much. We are in recess.